Hi there, the subject matter for today's video is one of productivity. One of the big buzzwords you have in the business world these days. How many of you feel like there are just simply not enough hours in the day? You just simply don't get enough done. Turning that thought on its head, let's look at it the other way. How many days of each work week are you actually productive? The answer is, for the most of you, about 3. Most people work around about a 45-hour work week. Of those, approximately 17 hours are unproductive, which means all of us, myself included, could be getting a hell of a lot more done. But then at the same time, we don't all want to turn into absolute workaholics, do we? So let's look at how we can make the most out of the time that we are at our desks and working. Obviously, it's important to keep a balance between personal life and work life. Otherwise, you just end up burning yourself out. So the best resource I managed to find in this regard is a book by the guy by the name of Tim Ferriss. And his international best-selling book is called The 4-Hour Workweek. What I've done is I've put a link to where you can find out more about the book in the description below the video. Do yourself a favor and check it out. It's really an excellent book. But let's look at the 6 salient points I've managed to pull out of the book. That is 6 things that are really simple to do each and every day that will increase your productivity hugely. First item on the list, manage your mood. What I'm calling your mood, guys like Tony Robbins, for instance, calls your state, or in other words, your state of mind. Most productivity systems that you read about make it seem like we're supposed to be acting like robots. But what all of these systems seem to forget is human beings are powered by feelings. So it's important that your feelings, your mood, your state of mind are in the right space when you attack the beginning of your day's work. For myself, I like to get my workout in early in the morning. That way, it feels like before I get into office and get stuck into the important things that need to be getting done in office, I've already achieved something. It's obviously increased my endorphin levels and gives me the feeling of having already achieved something even before I attack my day's work. And that helps me to be in the relaxed, positive frame of mind when I start my day, rather than starting the day in a completely reactionary way by dealing with phones ringing, emails coming in, crisis alarms going off, and you end up spending the entire day reacting rather than doing. And if you spend the entire day reacting rather than doing, all that happens is that you're no longer in the driving seat of what your priorities are. And you'll end up responding to each and everything that gets thrown at you, whether it is actually important or not. So looking back to Tim's book, take your first 80 or 90 minutes of the day and try and get them to vary as little as possible. Establish a routine that you can be in control of, and that will reduce your anxiety regarding what your priorities are for the day and what you really need to be getting done. And research shows that the mood or your state of mind that you start your day in has a huge effect on your productivity levels, and you tend to procrastinate a hell of a lot more when you're in a bad mood. Conversely, studies have shown that when you're in a happy state of mind, you're in a happy mood, you tend to be a whole lot more productive. So first thing in the morning, think maybe a little bit less about how to manage all the work on your plate, and think a little bit more about how you can manage your mood before you attack that work. So for me also, an important factor about managing my work early in the morning is to make sure that I start my day with my body in as hydrated a space as I can possibly be. Because when I'm feeling dehydrated, I feel low. When I feel low, I'm less productive. Item number 2, as far as your productivity levels on a day-to-day basis is concerned, and this comes back to number 1, where we were talking about state of mind and establishing routines that you can manage really, really easily. Number 2, do not check email first thing in the morning. To some people, this is absolutely unimaginable. You simply cannot imagine waking up, reaching out for your smartphone, picking it up, checking which important emails have come in that you need to be tackling the absolute moment you've woken up in the morning. I've interviewed a number of really, really productive people in the business world, and so far not one person has said to me it's important to spend more time with email. So why is checking your email first thing in the morning such a cardinal sin in the world of productive people? Simple. When you check your email first thing in the morning, you're setting yourself up to react to what's coming in at you, rather than acting on what your priorities are, what the most important things are that you're needing to get done for that day. So here's the crux of the matter. Instead of checking your email first thing in the morning, have 1 or 2 highest priority to-do list items. The 1 or 2 items that you might otherwise be procrastinating about if you had started your day in a bad mood, as we discussed in item number 1. So take those 1 or 2 most important priority items on your to-do list and attack those. And once you've got those out of the way, then go and look at your email. That way you've got, for myself, it's a case of I've achieved my daily achieving list has been, my workout is done, I'm feeling like I've achieved that. My 1 or 2 most important to-do list items are ticked off, and that means that by the time I get into my email and maybe in a reactionary type of way, I'm already on a roll. I've already achieved some things in my day. I've already ticked off the most important things that I was needing to get done. For instance, this video I'm recording first thing in the morning. It's my first thing that I'm doing as I've gotten here into office. Getting back to the subject of email. Research shows that email tends to do the following 4 things to you. Number 1, it tends to stress you out. Number 2, it can turn you into behaving like an absolute jerk. In other words, ruining that entire state of mind, positive state of mind that you want to start your day with. Number 3, email can be more addictive than both alcohol and tobacco combined. And number 4, checking email repeatedly throughout the day has the equivalent of dropping your IQ by 10 basis points. Now, is this really the way you want to start your day? So great. Our first 2 items have discussed what not to do. Don't start in a bad mood, don't check your email. So now that we've covered the don'ts, let's look at what you should be doing on a daily basis to make yourself as productive as possible. Productivity is all about trying to do things faster. In other words, if you can do things faster, you can get more done in your day. Let's ask another important question as item number 3 on our list. Before trying to figure out a way to do something faster, ask yourself the question, does it actually need to be done at all? Because after all, is it possible to get each and every single thing done? If you had to make a list of each and every single possible item on a to-do list, I know if I had to sit down and do that now, I'd have a to-do list of about 50, 60, 70 items. There's absolutely no ways I can get 50, 60, 70 items done on any given workday. It's just simply not possible. Many of my to-do list items are items that require an hour to 2 hours of concentrated effort. Is it possible to get 70 2-hour jobs done within a workday, not even within a 24-hour day. So simply, when you're looking at your priority list of what you need to get done, before looking at an item and deciding, how can I do this faster, how can I do this more efficiently, the first question is, does this actually need to be done at all? Again, looking at Tim's book, doing something well does not necessarily make that item important. When you're 2 hours away from an important deadline, do you really need to read that email that's just come in from a schoolmate that you haven't heard from in the last 10, 12 years? Or is that something that can be put aside and looked at later on this evening when you're winding down? Simple. Before trying to figure out how you can read this email more efficiently, more faster, ask right now, in this moment, does this need to be done at all? Remember, time is a finite resource, so apply it to the things that are important. Point number 4, focus. Focus is nothing more than eliminating distractions. I do the recording of my videos while there's nobody else around. Why? Because having somebody walking backwards and forwards behind the camera is going to drag my eyes off in that direction, and I'm no longer looking at you. And with so many items in the internet, email, Twitter, instant messaging systems, and all of these things that are bringing information to us from all these different directions all the time, there are so many distractions available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's given us almost a sort of a culturally generated ADD. Does that mean that we've all got suddenly vastly reduced attention spans? Not at all. It's just that there are so many distractions bombarding at us 24 hours a day that it becomes really difficult to maintain our focus on what we need to get done. And interviewing many top CEOs a top CEO's day-to-day office life is effectively being distracted by a call, by a meeting, say every 20 minutes or so. So what is it that top CEOs do on a day-to-day basis? At home, in their private study, they get an hour to an hour and a half of focused productivity done at the beginning of their day. Then they go through to office and deal with the day-to-day meetings and crisis management that a CEO needs to do. But if they didn't do that, they would get nothing done of what is important to them on a daily basis. Again, routine. Getting to the fifth and second last of our items we're going to be looking at today, have a personal system. Your routine doesn't have to be formal, doesn't have to be scientific, but it needs to work for you. Many HR managers and recruiters place huge emphasis on self-discipline. Personally, I think self-discipline is overrated. Defining routines and systems is a far more effective way of being productive than relying on your self-discipline. Having great systems and routines that channel you in a productive direction, make things automatic, and that don't tax your very limited supply of willpower. And starting your day with effective routines and systems allows you to build momentum of achievement. Item number 6. Define your major goals the night before. We're not talking about what often productivity systems talk about, make your entire to-do list. Because making your entire to-do list the night before means that you're not taking into account the number of time thieves that are going to be attacking your day. So what you do the night before is Your to-do list of the night before is your major, most important 1 or 2 items that you're needing to be getting done the next day. Going back to item number 2 on our productivity list that we had at the beginning of the video, where I talked about attacking your most important 1 or 2 items before you check your email in the morning. Those 1 or 2 items you will have defined the night before as the most important items you need to get done in your day. So you've defined them the night before, you arrive in the office, you attack them first thing in the morning, you get them done, you get them out the way, and you feel great. So finally, summing up. Item number 1, manage your mood or state of mind. Item number 2, don't check your email first thing in the morning. Rather attack your most important 2 items in your to-do list. Number 3, before you try and do it faster, ask yourself whether or not it needs to be done at all. Number 4, focus is nothing more than eliminating distractions. Number 5, have a personal system, a personal routine that allows you to get productive as early into your workday as you possibly can be. And number 2, define your most important 2 goals for the day the night before. It's really that simple. So go ahead, apply these in your day-to-day life. Let me know how it works for you in the comment section below. Also, any questions that you have, post them in the comment section below. And please remember to like and share this video, and please subscribe to our channel. That way you'll be able to be kept up to date on what's happening when new videos come out on a weekly basis. See you next time. Cheers.